Welcome to the Raking Show, where music, movies, and more are discussed and ranked for your listening pleasure. And now, your host, Billy.
All right, welcome. My name is Billy, and I am really looking forward to today's show. Today, I'm going to be ranking the albums of Britain's own The Cure. The Cure is one of my favorite bands of all time. They were one of my favorite bands in high school, and they were such an influence on me, the music that I made, and also the soundtrack of a lot of my high school existence. They're still making great music. We've been waiting forever and a day for this new album to come out, and I was kind of waiting to do this ranking until the new album came out, but I can't wait any longer. Just like all of y'all, you've been waiting for this, and it just never happened. So I'm looking forward to when it does happen, and I'm going to rank my top 10 albums from The Cure. I'm sure a lot of you will disagree with me and have differing opinions, and that's okay because we all have our own opinions. And if you do disagree or you agree with me, please comment below. Please like and subscribe to this page so you can be informed when I come out with new rankings. And I love talking about music. I love discussing music, and I'm sure you guys do too, and that's probably why you're watching this. So let's start discussing. For me on my list, number 10 is 2000's Blood Flowers. Blood Flowers was an album going back musically to their roots of the Disintegration Wish era. I just listened to it today again. I haven't listened to it for a while. It's a great album. There's no bad albums, so when I choose my albums, it is difficult. All the discography of The Cure is really good. For me, I'm going to start at number 10, which is Blood Flowers. The Last Day of Summer, Where the Birds Always Sing, Out of This World. So many good songs in the album. I love the production. So at number 10, Blood Flowers. Now at number 9, I have an album that has been so dismissed by so many Cure fans, and I really like the album. And at number 9, I have 413 Dream. 413 Dream has solid songs all the way through. I thought it was a really great effort, and who would have known that we would have had to wait another 15 years for another Cure record, but here we are. But this is 2008, and 413 Dream was a departure maybe from some of the same formulas that The Cure has been known for, but they've had different eras and different styles of music through their careers, and I've really embraced all of them. I thought they were all pretty great. The Reasons Why, Freak Show, The Hungry Ghost, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, all fantastic songs. I love this album. This album has been dismissed by so many Cure fans, and really, I don't see the reason why. At number 9, I have 413 Dream. At number 8, I have an album that I think is going to be a lot higher on most Cure fans' lists, overwhelmingly. But for me, this album is placed right where it should be. So at number 8, I have 1992's Wish. It's a great Cure album. I mean, starting with Open, High, Apart, From the Edge of the Deep Blue Sea is one of my favorites, and my actual favorite is End. I love the album. It's a great album. Friday I'm in Love, I never liked that song. Never. And that's one of the few songs from The Cure that I could say I don't like it. It's a solid record. It's a great Cure record. But there's just 7 other records that I like more than this one. So at number 8, I have Wish. When I was in school, I was always looking for something new to listen to. There wasn't a whole lot of choice to be made back in those days in the 80s, where you would pretty much only have your choice between like bands like, the hard rock, Guns N' Roses and Poison and Def Leppard, which a lot of that I love too. And then you had like Paula Abdul and all the bubblegum stuff, the Janet Jackson stuff. So really on the charts in the United States and on MTV, there wasn't a lot of those bands that were kind of off the beaten path. I loved music with guitars in it. I loved hearing bands. I didn't want to hear an overproduced project that was some creation of some major label. I wanted to hear a real band, and I didn't always want to hear the spandex, cheesy bar chord stuff all the time. There's a whole other world here where I can hear guitars. It was just great music. And it was made by a few guys in the band that had a band. They got together just like it opened doors for me and possibilities that I wanted to explore in my own life. So I thank The Cure for that. So at number 7, I have 1983's The Top. The Top was such a nice break from the previous album, which I also love, which I'll be talking about a little later. But it was a new era for The Cure, a new era for Robert Smith's writing, where he actually found major keys and we went into a different direction of hearing acoustic guitars, hearing very bright, colorful orchestrations. And this album I absolutely love. It's another one that seems to be dismissed by a lot of Cure fans. Bird Mad Girl, The Top, Banana Fishbones, Piggy in the Mirror, The Caterpillar, Dressing Up. Tell me which song that I just mentioned that is not a Cure classic. Fantastic record, very colorful. All those songs are basically the reason I'm going to have to say my number 7 is The Top. I remember when I was a kid walking through a graveyard at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's still dark and it was very foggy, and I had my Walkman on, and I was playing, I think, Faith, and the album basically was a perfect soundtrack for that. I love the simplicity. I love how they were minimalists when they first started. Maybe just because of ability with some of the band members, but it still works. It really works, and I love it. Some of this music is scarier to me than a lot of these like metal bands and black metal and death metal and all that stuff. Isn't scary to me. It's ridiculous. This stuff is a great soundtrack for that. I mean, this reminds me of like a George Romero black and white movie or something. So because of that, I'm going to give you my number 6 album, which is Faith. Faith is such a dark record. They stayed in that dark era, 17 Seconds, Faith, and Pornography, which were just the darkest era of The Cure. Let's see, The Holy Hour, Primary, All Cats Are Gray, The Drowning Man. Fantastic record. It's undeniable. If you love that dark stuff from The Cure, this album is for you. And at number 6, I have Faith. Can you believe we're already at the top 5? Goes quick sometimes when I'm doing these things. But here we are, top 5 Cure albums. At number 5, I have 1980's 17 Seconds. 17 Seconds is a brilliant jump forward from their first album. And they brought mood with the music instead of just simplicity. They brought simplicity with a dark tapestry on top of it. And 17 Seconds gives you a forest, still one of my favorite Cure songs of all time. A Reflection starts off the album. Fantastic. It's just so dark and eerie. That's the best word to use for a lot of this era of The Cure is eerie. It's very eerie music. The piano in the beginning of 3, how it just goes from one octave to the next. Very simple, very effective. 17 Seconds. Play for today. My number 5, 17 Seconds. Now's the time when I really tick a lot of yous off by giving you my number 4. And this is just my opinion. They're all fantastic records. But my number 4 is 1990's Disintegration. Their seminal album, which really was their breakout album throughout the world, gave us songs like Love Song and Pictures of You. My favorite songs, The Edge of the Deep Blue Sea, Untitled, probably my favorite song on the whole record. Fascination Street, Lullaby, it's a great album. But there's 3 albums I like better from them. And for that reason, my number 4 is 1990's Disintegration. My number 3 album from The Cure is the last of their very dark period albums, Pornography. The album is so amazingly solid and just unique, and there's nothing that was out at that time that was anything close to it. There was Bauhaus and bands like that, and Susie and the Banshees, but they didn't have the songwriting prowess that Robert Smith had, and he was able to combine that dark element along with really good songwriting and something that would capture you. And he painted a cinematic landscape with these songs. And he's always done that. And he's really good at doing it. And this album is fantastic. The drum lines are a little bit repetitive and non-expressive, but it fits the songs. And there's nothing I would change about the record. Siamese Twins, The Hanging Garden, A Short-Term Effect, Cold. The way the cellos come in to start the song Cold, it's so dark and eerie. And it's a perfect soundtrack if you have to be out in the winter on a rainy day. My number 3 is Pornography. All right, number 1, number 2. Which album's going to be which? Number 1 and number 2. My number 1 is definitely my number 1. There's no doubt about it. Some of the other songs or the albums might be a little bit interchangeable from day to day, but I pretty much thought about this all the way through, and this is my list. So at number 2, I choose Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. The album came out in 1987, was such a long record, double album almost, and I love that there's so much music on this record. Just Like Heaven. I mean, really arguably probably the greatest Cure song of all time. It never loses its magic. Hot, hot, hot. Why Can't I Be You? How Beautiful You Are. Like Cockatoos. It's just brilliance. And Robert Smith has always been great at orchestrating very simple lines, whether it's a bass line or a keyboard line or even a drum pattern. He's been able to take them and really have them all doing something different, and yet everything comes together perfect. And everything is discernible. You can hear everything. And there's a lot of space involved in his music. Because of that, he's come out with this distinctive sound. I mean, no other band really sounds like The Cure. Some other bands have tried to sound like The Cure, and you can hear elements of their influence. Definitely nothing came before them that was The Cure. They were influenced by bands like Pink Floyd and The Doors. They don't sound anything like Pink Floyd and The Doors or Bowie. You know, they did their own thing, and it's a beautiful thing. At number 2, I have Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. So right here is a picture of me when I was in high school, and as you can see here, I'm drinking something in a red Solo cup. I was DJing that night, kind of ticking some people off because they wanted to hear something that was maybe a little bit more mainstream for the day, and you can see I have a Cure Mixed Up t-shirt on there, so it's probably around 1990, early 91 there, that picture. It brings me to my number 1 album, is 1985's The Head on the Door. The Head on the Door is just perfect from beginning to end. There's not a song you skip. Everything is just beautiful, melodic. There's some dark points. There's a lot of happy points on it. In Between Days, Kyoto Song, The Blood, 6,000 Ways, Push, The Baby Screams, Screw, Sinking, Close to Me, A Night Like This. What Do You Say is not a classic. It's brilliant. And they released their concert Orange right on this tour for Head on the Door, which I think is one of the finest concert films ever made. They were at their apex, and I'm looking forward to new music from The Cure. But number 1, to me, is The Head on the Door. So please, like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if I'm nuts. Let me know if you would change something. I love to hear opinions because music is in the ear of the beholder, and I love doing this stuff. Please like and subscribe so you can hear more. I really appreciate you watching and or listening, and I'll see you next time.